What's happening in AI right now, it isn't just another tech cycle. No, this is a frantic, high-stakes technology race, and it is reshaping our world at like hypersonic speed. You've got all the major players dropping everything, and I mean everything, to focus on one single goal. Understanding why they're doing that, well, that's the key to getting ready for what's coming.
Okay, this quote right here, this is the core idea. The entire game has totally changed. For decades, right, software companies just competed by adding new features. A new button here, a new menu there. That era is over. Done. Now, companies are facing this whole new kind of competitor, an intelligence that actually improves itself, compounding its power day by day. This isn't just a moving target, it's an accelerating one.
So when did this race actually start? When did the starting gun fire? Well, it wasn't with some brand new invention. It happened the moment the big AI labs realized that the models they'd already built had these massive hidden powers, and all they needed to do was unlock them.
Okay, so let's talk about this term, unhobbling. Think of it like this. The AI already knew how to do all this amazing stuff, but it was being held back, by artificial restrictions. It was like a racehorse with hobbles on. So when Anthropic released a feature called Claude Design, it was basically just them unhobbling the AI. They just gave it permission to use its existing smarts for web design. And the result? Whoa. Figma and Adobe stocks immediately tanked. That one move proved that entire industries could be threatened, not by years of R&D, but by a single update that just unleashes a power that was already sitting there, latent.
And this just brilliantly illustrates the fundamental shift we're seeing. The old software as a service model, the SaaS model, that was basically a scaffold you built around an AI. You'd use an API, build a nice little user interface, and sell access to it. But now the AI is the software. Its capabilities are native. They're not just bolted on. And that makes any business that's just a thin wrapper around a large language model incredibly vulnerable.
And this leads us right to the main battlefront of this whole AI race, code generation, or code gen for short. See, the ability for an AI to write and improve its own code, that's the key to what they call recursive self-improvement. It's the engine of that compounding intelligence we talked about. And believe me, everyone is scrambling to win this.
And when I say scrambling, I mean they're making moves on a scale that is just, it's hard to wrap your head around. Take Elon Musk, for example. To get that critical edge in the code gen race, he didn't just go out and buy a company. No, he made a massive power play. $60 billion. That's the price SpaceX reportedly negotiated for the right to buy Cursor, which is one of the best AI-native coding tools out there. Look, this isn't just an acquisition, it's a huge statement. It shows you the absolutely incredible value the key players are putting on dominating the ability to generate code.
And it's not just about buying stuff, either. Even the top labs are making these drastic internal changes. I mean, look at OpenAI, arguably the leader in the whole field. They're shedding major projects and top talent, including the head of their groundbreaking video model, Sora. So why would they do that? Because anything that isn't directly focused on winning the code gen race, on achieving that recursive self-improvement, it's now seen as a distraction. They're going all in, period.
This quote from someone right there on the front lines just says it all. From SpaceX to OpenAI to Anthropic, all the big players see AI-driven coding as the absolute critical path to victory. It's like the final boss battle of this stage of the AI revolution.
But this epic software battle, it needs an equally epic physical foundation. All this compounding intelligence has to live somewhere, right? And that has sparked the single biggest infrastructure build-out in human history. Seriously. Just look at these numbers. It's insane. In just 6 years, private companies are on track to spend nearly $1 trillion on data centers. That completely, utterly dwarfs some of the largest government megaprojects in history, like the Apollo program or the Manhattan Project. Even when you adjust for inflation and all that, the scale is it's unprecedented. And here is the really crucial point. Unlike those historical projects, this isn't being driven by nations. It's being funded by just a handful of private companies. I mean, think about that. This is a monumental shift. It means progress isn't tied to political cycles or debates about public funding. It can happen at the speed of business, which is just accelerating this race at an unbelievable rate. So, okay, we've got this insane software arms race and a hardware building boom. But what does this all mean for us, for you and me? What's the immediate impact on our careers? Well, the answer is, it's profound. This internal survey from Anthropic it's staggering.
a third of the very engineers building this technology believe it's going to replace entry-level software jobs. And get this, not in 5 years, but in just 3 months. This isn't some forecast for 2030. This is a prediction for the next quarter, coming from the people who know this tech better than anyone. And what this points to is a huge structural problem. The traditional career path is basically breaking. For decades, the model was simple. You'd start as a junior, do what you could call apprenticeship work, and slowly climb the ladder to become a senior expert. But now, AI is starting to do all of that apprenticeship work.
So that raises a huge question, right? If you can no longer climb the ladder because the bottom rungs are just gone, what's next? How do you even build a successful career in this new world?
Well, it looks like 3 primary paths are emerging. Instead of climbing a stable corporate ladder, the new model is to either create the ladder, join a small team that's building one, or fund those teams. The focus is shifting dramatically away from stable employment to these agile entrepreneurial ventures.
But hold on, there's one final absolutely critical piece to this whole puzzle. This entire digital race, which is moving at exponential speed, is completely dependent on a physical world that is frankly fragile and moves at a much slower, linear pace.
Just take the Strait of Hormuz, for example. A conflict in this one narrow channel could disrupt about a quarter of the world's oil supply. And where does that oil go? It powers the data centers. But it gets even more critical. That same strait is a choke point for about a third of the world's helium. And helium is absolutely essential for manufacturing the advanced chips that the entire AI industry runs on. No helium, no chips.
So a disruption there isn't just an oil shock or some supply chain issue. It is a full-on system shock. It reveals the fundamental vulnerability of all this exponential digital growth. It's all built on top of a delicate, interconnected global supply chain that can be broken by a single geopolitical event.
Which leaves us with the ultimate question, the big one. We've unleashed compounding intelligence, this force that grows exponentially, but it's all running on the hardware of a physical world that is linear, fragile, and prone to shocks. So, can our world actually keep up with the race we've just started? It really is the central tension of our time, this explosive digital progress versus the fragile linear systems of the real world. And the answer to that question, well, that's what's going to define the next chapter of our story. If you enjoyed this, subscribe to AI in 8 minutes and never miss what matters.